So hello everybody. As quite a few of you have noticed, it's been a few days since we've had a Neuromuscular Advent Calendar, and well, as you can see, there's no Andrew here with me today to do the Neuromuscular Advent Calendar, and it hasn't been for a few days. All's well, I'm just in Paris, so it's been quite tricky because I had intended to do them myself and to do them live, but well, as you can see, this is Jardin des Tuileries, and it is beautiful, one of my favourite gardens in Paris, but I mean, it's not faring too well at the moment. It's very grey, very rainy Paris. While it seems the whole of the UK has had snow, Paris has had, well, look at the sky. Been quite busy while I've been here, and in the time that I have had that's been free, it's been pouring down with rain. So I thought, just really quickly, while there was no rain and I was going past the Tuileries garden, I thought I'd pause, and I thought, you know, there's not a lot of people here, so it's good to be able to do a video, and I thought I'd do 3 days in one. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do one day as the congenital myopathies, and then do 2 more congenital myopathies. But they won't include Neuromuscular myopathy, which is a congenital myopathy that Andrew and I are going to do in a few days' time. So congenital myopathies are a group of muscle diseases, not to be confused with congenital muscular dystrophy, which is, well, another group of muscular dystrophies that we'll be doing later in the week. But they do still have the same reason for having congenital in their name. Congenital, as our good friend Salman Khan will always say, congenital means present from birth, essentially. So there are many different types of congenital myopathies, but most share common features. At large, these include lack of muscle tone and muscle weakness. Other signs and symptoms of some congenital myopathies include feeding and breathing difficulties, as well as skeletal conditions such as curvature of the spine, scoliosis, weak bones, or hip problems. Now, the severity of the signs and symptoms can vary significantly. The conditions themselves are usually either stable or slowly progressing. Common symptoms include lack of muscle tone, muscle weakness, delayed motor skills, noticeable facial weakness, drooping eyelids, and muscle cramps and contractions. Right, I'll catch you in a second. Okay, so that was getting far too windy, and the rain had just started again. So here I am inside, and I'm determined we're going to get this out this evening. So let's get into the different types. We will do 2 additional types today. Neuromuscular myopathy will come later in the week, and then we'll do a day where we go over the ones we've missed out, I guess. So congenital myopathies include, but are not limited to, central core disease, centronuclear myopathies, congenital fiber type disproportion myopathy, and then we've even got quite a few more which are very rare, and, well, like I say, we'll include them in an episode later in the week. So, central core disease, also known as central core myopathy. It's an autosomal dominant congenital myopathy, and it was first described in 1956. So the symptoms of central core disease are variable, just like all the other congenital myopathies, but they usually involve hypertonia, which is decreased muscle tone from birth, mild delay in child development, which is also highly variable between cases, weakness of the facial muscles, and skeletal problems such as scoliosis and things like hip dislocation as well. With central core disease as well, there also appears to be a growing number of people whose symptoms don't become more apparent until much later in life, perhaps even adulthood or middle age. And while it's generally not progressive, like many of the other congenital myopathies, there does appear to be a growing number of people who experience a clinically significant progression of symptomatology. Okay, and second, on to centronuclear myopathy. Now, the centronuclear myopathies are a group of congenital myopathies where the cell nuclei are abnormally located in the skeletal muscle. In centronuclear myopathy, the nuclei are located in the position at the center of the cell instead of their normal location inflammation at the periphery. As with many of the other congenital myopathies, symptoms lead to hypertonia, but also hypoxia, which requires breathing assistance. One of the centronuclear myopathies is Myotubular Myopathy, which is a form that typically presents at birth and is thus considered a congenital myopathy. However, some centronuclear myopathies may actually present in later life. If we're getting into the genetics of it, there are a range of different versions. There's the X-linked recessive, autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant. Myotubular myopathy is the one that is X-linked recessive. There's currently no cure or treatment for the centronuclear or myotubular myopathies. As with many of the other congenital myopathies, treatment often focuses on trying to maximize functional abilities and minimize medical complications. Lots of intervention by physical therapists and occupational therapists. Anyway, that is my quick summary on those two, or in fact those three, because myotubular myopathy is also kind of considered one on its own, but it is a centronuclear myopathy in itself. So I guess maybe we've done 4. We've done the congenital myopathies as a whole, and we've done central core, centronuclear, and, well, myotubular, kind of an addition. Thank you for watching, and thank you for persevering while I am in Paris and away from Andy. And, well, next episode you see, be me and Andy back on the show. He'll be giving us the what's what, and we'll be joking just like old times. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Never can get this video done.